The summer sun blazed down, turning my backyard into a shimmering oasis. The pool sparkled, its water lapping softly against the tiles, a faint chlorine tang mixing with the scent of freshly cut grass. I leaned back in my lounge chair, ice clinking in my lemonade, savoring the quiet. My sanctuary, my escape, until she showed up. Karen, the HOA president with a perm so tight it looked like it was strangling her soul. She stood at the edge of my fence, arms crossed, her voice slicing through the air like a lawnmower blade. That pool, she barked, pointing a manicured claw at my pride and joy, is on HOA property. It's mine. I froze, glass halfway to my lips. Hers. The woman had lost her mind. I'd bought this house 2 years ago, a cozy fixer-upper in the sleepy suburb of Willow Creek. The pool came with it, a sparkling gem nestled in my backyard. Fully permitted, fully mine. I'd spent months scrubbing tiles, balancing chemicals, turning it into the heart of my home. My daughter, Lily, learned to swim here, her giggles echoing as she splashed. My wife, Sarah, and I hosted barbecues, the smell of grilled burgers mingling with sunscreen and laughter. This pool wasn't just a thing, it was us. And now Karen, with her clipboard and her power trip, was claiming it belonged to the HOA. I laughed, sharp and bitter, the sound catching in my throat. Karen, you're joking, right? This is my property. Her eyes narrowed, glinting like a snake's. The HOA survey says otherwise. That pool's on our land. You're trespassing. She waved a crumpled piece of paper, her voice rising, shrill and triumphant. I've already called the police. They're on their way. My stomach lurched. Police. For my own pool. The audacity hit me like a punch, my pulse hammering in my ears. I set my glass down, the ice rattling, and stood, trying to keep my voice steady. Karen, you're wrong. I have the deed, the survey, everything. But she just smirked, her heels clicking as she turned and strutted back to her McMansion across the street, leaving me staring at the ripples in my pool, my sanctuary now tainted by her venom. The cops arrived 20 minutes later, 2 officers in crisp uniforms, their boots crunching on my driveway gravel. Officer Daniels, a broad-shouldered guy with a tired sigh, listened as Karen ranted, her voice a machine gun spray of accusations. He's stealing HOA property. That pool's ours. I demand you arrest him. I stood on my porch, arms crossed, Lily peeking nervously from behind the screen door, her small hands clutching the frame. Sarah squeezed my arm, her breath shaky, whispering, "She's insane. Tom, we'll fight this." I nodded, but doubt gnawed at me, sharp and cold. What if Karen was right? What if some ancient HOA rule screwed us over? The thought made my chest tighten, the air heavy with the scent of impending rain. Daniels flipped through Karen's evidence, a dog-eared survey from 1987, and raised an eyebrow. "Ma'am, this doesn't prove anything. We need to see current records." Karen's face flushed crimson, her voice climbing an octave. "I am the HOA. I know the rules." The second officer, a younger woman named Lopez, stifled a smirk, her radio crackling softly. They turned to me, and I handed over my deed, my own survey, every document I triple-checked when we bought the place. Daniel scanned them, nodded, and handed them back. "Looks clear to me. Mr. Harper, this is your property." Karen's jaw dropped, a strangled gasp escaping her lips. "You're wrong," she shrieked, stomping her foot like a toddler. The officers exchanged a glance, and Lopez muttered, "Let's wrap this up." They left, Karen trailing behind, still yelling about justice as thunder rumbled in the distance. I thought that was the end. I was wrong. The next morning, my inbox was flooded. Karen had posted on the neighborhood app, a venomous screed accusing me of stealing the pool, of defying the HOA, of being a disgrace to Willow Creek. Comments piled up, some neighbors siding with her, others calling her out. The air felt thick with betrayal, the sting of strangers' words cutting deeper than I expected. Sarah scrolled through the posts, her face pale, her coffee untouched on the counter. "She's turning people against us. she whispered, her voice cracking. Lily, coloring at the kitchen table, looked up, her crayon still. Why does Mrs. Karen hate our pool? Daddy. My heart twisted, a dull ache spreading. I knelt beside her, forcing a smile. She's just confused. Kiddo, we'll fix it. Then came the surprise. Old Mr. Jenkins, the neighborhood's quiet recluse, knocked on our door that afternoon. He was 80, hunched, with a voice like gravel and eyes sharp as tacks. The scent of pipe tobacco clung to his flannel shirt, and he held a yellowed folder. Heard about your trouble with Karen, he rasped, a wry smile tugging at his lips. She's been pulling this crap since the 90s. He handed me the folder, stuffed with old HOA records, maps, and letters. This proves your pool's on your land. Always has been. Karen's family tried to claim half this street years ago, lost in court. She's got a vendetta. My hands shook as I flipped through the pages. The paper crisp and musty. Jenkins' story unraveled like a twist in a movie. Karen's father had been HOA president before her, a bully who tried to redraw property lines for profit. They'd failed, humiliated, and now Karen was picking up his torch, her pride fueling this war. The revelation lit a fire in me. I wasn't just fighting for my pool, it was fighting a legacy of greed. Sarah and I pored over Jenkins' documents. The kitchen table, a war room of coffee mugs and highlighters. The air hummed with purpose, the faint tick of the wall clock marking our resolve. We hired a lawyer, a sharp woman named Rachel with a no-nonsense ponytail and a knack for cutting through HOA jargon. She confirmed what Jenkins said. Karen's claim was baseless, a desperate grab for control. She's banking on you backing down, Rachel said, her pen tapping the table. She's done this to others. You're not the first. The words landed like a stone in my gut. Others. How many had Karen bullied into submission? The thought made my blood boil. The distant hum of a lawnmower outside mocking the calm I craved. Karen didn't stop. She escalated. Signs appeared on her lawn. Protect our HOA rights. She organized a community meeting at the clubhouse, her voice booming through a megaphone as she called me a thief. Neighbors whispered, some avoiding my eyes at the grocery store, the air thick with their judgment. One night, I caught her sneaking into my yard, measuring tape in hand, muttering about evidence. The moonlight glinted off her glasses, her breath puffing in the cool air. I shouted, Karen, get out. She flinched, dropped the tape, and scurried off, but not before hissing. This isn't over. My hands clenched, nails biting into my palms. Enough was enough. The court date loomed, a gray morning heavy with drizzle. The courtroom smelled of polished wood and stale coffee. The judge's gavel a sharp crack against the tension. Karen stood at her table, her lawyer a nervous suit who kept adjusting his tie. She wore a smug grin, her voice dripping with confidence as she presented her survey, her hands gesturing wildly. Rachel dismantled her case with surgical precision, laying out my deed, Jenkins' records, and a new survey we'd commissioned. The judge, a stern woman with silver hair, leaned forward, her glasses catching the light. Ms. Thompson, she said, her voice low and cutting. Your claim is not only baseless, but frivolous. You've wasted this court's time. Karen's face crumpled, her breath hitching as she stammered. But the HOA, the judge cut her off. Dismissed. The room erupted in murmurs, a few neighbors in the back clapping. Karen's shoulders slumped, her perm seeming to deflate as she shuffled out. Avoiding my gaze, I exhaled, the weight lifting, the air tasting cleaner. Sarah squeezed my hand, her eyes shining with tears and triumph. Outside, the rain had stopped, the clouds parting to let sunlight spill over the courthouse steps. Lily ran to me, her sneakers slapping the pavement, and I scooped her up, her laughter a melody against the distant hum of traffic. Back home, the pool sparkled again, its water calm, inviting. We threw a barbecue that weekend, neighbors crowding our backyard, their voices mingling with the sizzle of burgers and the splash of kids in the water. Jenkins showed up, pipe in hand, winking as he raised a beer. To justice, he said, and we all toasted. the clink of glass ringing like a promise. Karen's house stayed dark. Her signs gone. Her reign over Willow Creek broken. The pool was ours, not just a thing, but a symbol. A reminder that truth could cut through lies. That standing up could drown out the loudest bullies. As the sun set, painting the sky in hues of fire and gold, I leaned back, Lily's hand in mine, and let out a long, contented sigh. We'd won, and it felt damn good.